when I started doing this again, I said something like, it doesn't really ever get any easier. You have to keep fighting. Now I've gotten to the point where there are hurdles again that I have to push myself over to keep going. I missed the entire last week. I've been getting kind of spotty. And do I have excuses? Sure, I've got excuses. I was suffering from some annoyingly persistent insomnia for most of the past 2 weeks. So that didn't help. But again, it always comes down to these voices in my head. Like as much as I know that working out makes me feel better and leads to better outcomes for every aspect of my life, there's still that little voice, when it comes down to the decision-making time. Am I going to go to the gym or am I not? There's a little voice that comes in and goes, yeah, your gym's pretty cool, but what's also cool? Like not going to the gym, like just staying here. That's cool, right? But I did it today, did my chest workout, went great, no problems. But I had a couple of milestones right before I hit this period, this week and a half period where I just kind of fell off the horse again. Finally saw some action on the scale. My weight dropped from 210 to about 208 or something like that. It hasn't moved much since then. But the other cool thing is I went to go see my doctor for the first time in a long time and had my cholesterol checked. And now my cholesterol for the past 3 or 4 years has been very high. And it kind of lined up with what I know has been a long period of relative inactivity compared to what I was doing before. Also, I changed my diet right around the time that this first happened. My cholesterol had been healthy for years while I was eating a mostly vegan diet from like 2014 through 2023. And then around 2023, I decided to stop doing that because I don't want to get into it too much, but I felt like I was not really meeting my nutritional needs well enough. And not that you can't do that on a vegan diet. I'm not much of a cook. So I'm traveling with a band and stuff. It was just too much of a challenge for me. I decided. So I retreated to vegetarian. A couple months after I made that decision, I saw my doctor and my cholesterol levels wasn't quite straight up, but it was a very dramatic upturn. And it stayed up there until now. I mean, the last time I had it checked it's been almost a year since I had it checked the last time. It was last fall. It was 224. And this time it dropped all the way to 180, something like that. So like a 40-point drop. And that's dramatic. That's really cool. And so I can't really tell you exactly for sure what accounts for that, but I'm not eating any different than I was a year ago. And not yet anyway. But the main thing that's changed recently is the workouts. And apparently it is true that weightlifting can positively impact your cholesterol levels. So that was great to see because I was a little apprehensive about what the numbers were going to be like because I'd only just recently started working out again and I expected the numbers to be much worse than they were last year based on how I'd been behaving for most of the time up until early June or something or late May. So that was wonderful to see. I was talking about metrics that you can't really measure with numbers as far as successes when you start doing this. The way I feel, the energy that I have, being stronger, having more strength on stage, especially with my legs, it's been wonderful. But here I finally have 2 numbers. The scale is starting to budge a little bit and the cholesterol numbers coming down. That is really great to see. And I do have that in mind when I'm pushing myself past these annoying voices telling me to stop trying. Like I said, they're always going to be in there. Those damn voices, they're not going away. I just have to get better at ignoring them. I know I'm not alone in this, right? I'm not crazy. You hear those voices too, right? And I mean, not literally, but they're in there, aren't they? Tell me in the comments. And I hope you guys are doing well. And I'll see you again, hopefully very soon. Bye-bye.